I'm Jimi Hendrick, and this episode is called Associating with with Like-Minded People on Empower Your Pattern 2.0. Hi, I'm Jimi Hendrick. I am Success, Confidence, and Thrive Coach, founder of James Hendrick Empowerment. I wish to tell you there are patterns to help you receive more, to help you live a better and extraordinary life. In this particular podcast, I wish to give you as a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, I wish to give you these spiritual and temporal tips to help you overcome the adversities in everyday life. Okay, guys, sit down and grab you a beverage or, snack and drink rich of these teachings. There's lots of successful people that will give you advice on what to do to find like-minded people. Some it's too hokey. It's too out of reach. See, Empower Your Pattern 2.0 is not for just those that are successful. It's for those that are striving, that want to be successful. And I gotta be honest with you. Especially these people that hit a plateau. You're hanging out with friends. For the most part, they're good friends. But you also realize they can only carry you so far. They've changed. You've changed. I remember 20 years ago, I faced the same issue, the same problem. 2001, 2002, when I joined the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, I began to see clearly that my friends were evolving. And not necessarily in the same area, areas where I was going. I become a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, where we teach internal progression with God through Christ and salvation by grace through faith and works. And I was just beginning to see little by little, through the spring and summer of 2002, my friends were moving in completely different directions from myself. Be that as it may, I thought, well, maybe I can still keep a hold of them because, you know how you get, we're talking about the loneliness way and the adversity track. You get lonely. You start clamoring, you think, well, maybe I just keep a hold of these people. Okay. There's nothing wrong with wanting to keep a hold of those people, but are they going to take you where you need to go? Because you reach a certain point. where you plateau. And those people that are around you that have been your friends for 10, maybe 20 years, it's either they changed or you changed. Life, don't get me wrong, I'm not a person that believes in the science of evolution, okay? I am being raised a good old Baptist boy. I am a creationist. And part of being a creationist, as far as successful, it doesn't hurt for those that are successful or want to be successful, and you need to find success for yourself. Okay, don't expect me or anybody else, Some people think, the trappings are in money. Not necessarily. Yeah, money's part of it, but money's only the trappings. There's power. There's spiritual prowess. So, you're probably thinking, well, how do I associate with like-minded people? I'm sitting here at night, alone most nights. You know, I'm single. I'm success-driven. My friends are married. They got families, or they have married, they have families, they moved away. I'm stuck. You know what? I hear you. I hear you. But how long are you going to sit there and ruminating that? Because I want to tell you something. Believe it or not, I do understand. I understand perfectly. This morning, I woke up super early, and then I took a nap. And I got on the phone, to my mother. Bless her heart, she was not really accessible. She had a lot going on. And I was sitting there, and the depression started kicking in, A lot of the adversities I'm talking to, yeah, there are physical adversities, such as falling off a porch and breaking a leg, or suddenly collapsing and fracturing your skull and having to suffer from high blood pressure and health scares after health scares. I've experienced those. But the majority of this season is talking about mental and emotional adversity. And I think this is timely because of some of the adversities I'm going through. Let me give you guys some advice. Number one, you really need to find some networking service groups. Rotary, Toastmasters. Those are some good places where you can start networking. As Dr. Del Toro McNeil II says, you network like it's going out of style. And that's in his book, Caught Between a Dream and a Job. I suggest you pick up a copy, okay? Now, another one is Meetup. And I know, and sometimes when you're looking for groups that are more like-minded in Meetup, it can be, strangely enough, it can be like a needle in a haystack sometimes. But then you stumble across that gym and you're like, well, Plano, this is what I want. This is what I want. And everything starts clicking together and you get the determination and the gumption. Now, does everything work out perfectly? No, but you got to get out of your comfort zone. Yeah, I know what you're saying. But Jimmy, that's tough. Let me tell you something. You don't think I don't know? I don't know. I know. I have struggled for years. Because see, the real genesis of where things were coming to a head in 2002 happened in 2000. My friendship with Brad was kind of suffering, dying on the line because he was too busy trying to put me in a dizzying social circle where I didn't really feel like I was getting that much value out of it spiritually. Maybe to some degree temporally, but not spiritually. And so I had to be a little bold in 2001 and say, hey, but 2002 it reared its ugly head again. And I was like, well, what am I going to do? And so you remember how I told you how if you're lonely, it's like you're having. What happened in 2002 is what led to that 6-year lonely chasm in 2003. Because I thought, well, if they don't hang out with me, fine. I'll just start getting rebellious. I'll just start doing things stupid. See, that was my mentality back in that time. I was 32 years old, and I did some things that, now 20 years later, at age 52, there is no way I would do that stuff in my right mind. No way. But sometimes when you're alone, you're desperate, and that's when you attract losers. Where it's best that you just rise up with the gumption within you. Find as many meetups as you can. Facebook groups. Look locally if you can. If you feel like you've got to move to another city. Now, I'm going to say this. I don't advocate that until you look at all the variables involved. Some people say, well, just move, not negotiable. No. I'm going to say this in my 52 years of experience. To say, well, I don't like where I am, just move. And you do it. And you don't sit down to count the cost. Now, if you think you can do it, and you can get things in place, and you're moving, yes. Snap it out there, move. Move and go on and branch on, and see if you can find some like-minded people in your new area. But I'm going to say this. In your quest to meet like-minded people, especially those that can help you become successful, do not compromise your values. Do not compromise. See, that's the thing. The loneliness way leads to adversity. Because then you think, oh, I'm desperate, so I'm just going to hop into this. Okay. That happened in 2002. And again in 2015. And those led to some upheavals of change. Some positive and some negative. The one in 2015, ironically, it took me a while, but I was able to recover nicely and become the podcaster you hear before you now. But meetups, Facebook groups, find some community groups that are online. Put yourself out there, and if it has to be only virtual meetings, okay? Say you're disabled and homebound, you can't drive. You know what? The virtual meetings are just good enough. And Lord willing, thank you, Jesus, you'll find the right people. Also, a good place for like-minded people. And of course, I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, so I'm gonna put a plug in. Go to church. Go to church. You're like, Jimmy, how's church gonna hang out? You're going to get a good set of values. There are success patterns in life. But not every successful person is going to tell you those. Because the thing that I have learned over the years is that success patterns have values. It's not just sitting there and me cursing at you and thinking that that's going to help you bring down a concept. No. In my years of personal development, I have learned that if you're trying to drive home concept, cursing is not going to win people over. In fact, it's a sign of ignorance. But I digress. Okay, I'm on the bunny trail here, forgive me. Go to meetups. Go to Facebook groups. You want to be an aspiring speaker? Go to Toastmasters. Join Toastmasters. Find whatever you can. Join whatever you can. And just go for it. How long are you going to sit there and feel bad? And try to connect with the friends that you do have. The thing is, though, if you see